Okay, we're still in section 8.1 and constructing confidence intervals, but this is one where they give you a set of numbers instead of giving you the mean and the standard deviation for this data set. So it'll be a table of some sort. It might look like this. So to do that, we're going to go back to doing that L1 thing, and we only have L1 in this case, no L2. And so stat edit, enter, and I've entered the numbers in here, but make sure you delete your, clear out any numbers from L2 before you proceed with this. So I've got the numbers in here, and then again you go to stat and tests and 7, just like we've been doing. And now we're going to move this from stats over to data, and that will change what it asks for. It still wants your standard deviation, and that is given somewhere in the problem. Here it's 83. And your list is L1 because that's where you put your data. Frequency, leave that as 1. And sea level is actually not till part 3. And again, it's 98%. But before we actually proceed with doing this, it asks a couple questions. So in part 1, it'll ask you why it's necessary to check whether the population is approximately normal before constructing a confidence interval. And the answer to this is always going to be because your sample size is less than 30. And then they'll give you a dot plot of the data and ask you if it's reasonable to assume that the population is approximately normal. And approximately normal basically just means they're evenly spread out. These aren't perfectly evenly spread out, but they're good enough, I guess, to be considered normal. And the only times that you would say no to that, they're going to make it really obvious that there's an outlier. So it'd be a bunch of dots that are fairly close together, and then something that's like way out here, a really obvious outlier. That's the only case where you would say no, but usually in these you're going to say yes, it is reasonable to assume the population's approximately normal. And then it's not till part 3 where they actually ask you to do any sort of calculation. We kind of jumped the gun and did that here. So we've got this all set up to go with the data, and down and calculate, and we enter. And again, it gives us our interval at the top here. So round to 1 decimal place would be 197.1 and 319.3. And so that's the last part of this one.